Colin from Zilliqa is here, so let's get them on board and get the presentation going.
Welcome to the presentation on Zilliqa. Zilliqa is a blockchain which is transforming the way the world lives, works, and pays and plays with smart contract technology. We're delighted to be presenting here at Mainnet. We've been working with Masari for a long time. Quick introduction about myself. Colin J.G. Miles. I've been an entrepreneur for about 25 years. Took on the role of head of marketing about 4 months ago. Very excited to be part of the Zilliqa project. I felt it was a blockchain which could have global impact and really change the way people work in a peer-to-peer commerce environment. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Twitter. Just a quick brief on the origination of Zilliqa in Singapore. Basically, it was a research project, an academic research project, which looked into the scalability of blockchains. And at the time, of course, in 2017, the choice was fairly limited and the scalability was pretty poor. So a team of scientists dedicated themselves to develop an academic approach to something called sharding, which basically broke down the way that blockchain transactions were recorded and made them much more efficient for transaction processing. You can see the team there, quite a jolly bunch, quite a few PhDs in that group, and we have the co-founders in the picture as well. One of the co-founders will join me later in the presentation. Of course, we got a bit of notoriety because Vitalik gave us a call out the other day and literally stated that both of these projects have a lot of room to succeed and prosper. And of course, we originated from the Ethereum ERC20 token, swapped to our own mainnet token, and the rest, I think, is history. Of course, we still respect the Ethereum platform, and we're working with partners to continue our interaction with Ethereum with some very exciting projects like the Switch.io DEX, which I'll talk about a bit later. Our president and chief science officer has seen the growth of the project across all those 3 years. It's been very exciting to see how the team has developed and how the platform has matured so quickly in recent years. Amrit is a leader by example. He's a fantastic brain, but also a brilliant person. And I think that comes across throughout the way the team works and the culture of the blockchain. Just a quick look at sharding. Sharding as a technology is a great way to divide and conquer, as we say, to break down blockchain transactions into smaller groups that can be processed much faster. The Zilliqa blockchain has a node-based logic, which enables linear scalability. And of course, famously on the testnet, we managed to hit 2,828 transactions per second. Of course, we look around at all the other blockchains. It's very important to see the growth of the ecosystem and compare ourselves, but it seems that Zilliqa is still the leader with the most mature sharding blockchain out there. In short, I would say we're fast and scalable, safe by design because we developed our own Zilla smart contract language, which is computationally verifiable. And we also have incredibly low transaction costs compared to many other blockchains. In terms of tech, I'll be joined by Jun Hao later, who's our tech brains, but we have recorded quite an extreme growth in recent months from the origination of the platform. We've now got up to 4 million transactions, which is quite a significant number, and people are monitoring every day. We love the community. Our community tweets pretty much non-stop about what we're doing and where we're going. And you can see we've got some great shout outs for how we're increasing the speed and productivity of the platform. The ecosystem is quite big. We have a lot of partners, more than 70 plus partners who have worked with us in the last 2 years or so. I'm not going to discuss every single partner, but you can see a wide range of the top companies and businesses in the blockchain space. We have some great partners that we'll talk about specifically later, but all of our partners are incredibly valuable and help drive the usability and adoption of the Zilliqa blockchain. In particular, I did mention the Switcheo DEX. This is something which is enabling us to work and be more liquid with the Zilliqa token, for example, allowing people also to use our stablecoin token, which is called XSGD in partnership with Exodus. And we're enabling some market liquidity for people who want to put their ZIL into pools, and then some fees in a Uniswap style transaction. Marketing wise, of course, that's my domain. I came in February and we were being relatively quiet, I think, but now in the last quarter, we've dramatically increased our communication, and we do communicate as much as possible, as often as possible, and as transparently as possible about everything we're up to. We've had incredible success in the social media space. We also have a very strong blog, blog.zilliqa.com, which you can read and find out in detail more about what we do. One of the high points, I think, is also that we get a lot of media placements. We had more than 500, now we're up to more than 700 in the last 4 months. In terms of usability, we launched a solution called Social Pay, which we call a social payment and rewards program. This is something which enables us to reward people with ZIL, but it could also be reward points for tweeting and hashtagging about projects, specific projects. And you can see that the numbers for our 3-day trial were absolutely off the charts. We had huge take-up, we had a significant number of claims, and we also managed to get as many as 45 million social engagements as measured by Lunar Crush, who I'll talk about later. Massive impact on the crypto industry, huge positivity around the product, and something that we can use to help boost many other different projects and products. We also ran a CSR campaign with Red Cross Singapore recently on the 27th of May, and you can see that resulted in some huge social reaction, social dominance, as summarized here, with huge numbers of people tweeting and donating to the Red Cross. We also created a product called ZilHive, a bot in partnership with Button Wallet, and that's driven a huge amount of activity on Telegram. I think Telegram, of course, is something very key to the crypto community, and we've had a lot of response from the use of ZilHive, whereby you can easily and quickly set up a wallet and tip people for doing good things, creating good content in the Telegram groups that we work with. ZilHive 2 is being launched this week and has something special on the tray, which is a quiz program, so you can quickly set up quizzes and reward people for answering questions. You can see the kind of spikes that we're getting with ZilHive's activity on Telegram groups. But overall, it's roughly 700 million people now who can pay and be rewarded with ZIL through social media directly, no great time delay. Globally, we have a huge community. If we include Twitter, we have more than 130,000 people in our community. Our Telegram groups, country by country, are growing rapidly. We're getting a lot of traction in Europe, the USA, Africa, and the Middle East, and of course Southeast Asia with Indonesia. We have different initiatives for the community, and Zilacracy is one of them, set up by fans of Zilliqa who plot different projects, and we can help fund them to create different projects to help the Zilliqa promotional bandwagon, and also to help different projects that can excite people, such as merchandise. We have our own merchandise store on the ZilLiqa.com website. Helps people to understand how to make a retail transaction, obviously, in buying merchandise. And now we're having a Battle of the Merch contest, so people can get their designs on a Zilliqa t-shirt and be rewarded for that. Developers are really critical to our ecosystem, so we spend a lot of time working with key influencers such as Ivan on Tech to drive the message about Scylla, our safe by design programming language. We also have upcoming webinars on how to code, and we have a learnscylla.com website where people and developers can easily learn Scylla. Actually, it's quite a natural language to learn, so you don't have to be very technical to understand how to build smart contracts which can work safely and securely on the Zilliqa blockchain. As mentioned, in terms of Lunar Crush as my go-to site for social measurement, but it was quite interesting recently because we've been so successful in getting our message out there, and the momentum has grown massively. We've been the #1 coin many times over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I was chatting with John Farjo from Lunar Crush, and he literally said, we're almost breaking the charts in terms of the real growth of our social contributors. And it's not just people who endlessly talk about us, it's a wide range of folks talking about Zilliqa. So we're really starting to get the message out there. ZilHive is really important to us. We learn, accelerate, and educate through ZilHive and build the ecosystem. We have actually just launched a new website for ZilHive and a new partner, the Tribe Accelerator, which is very well known in Singapore. And that means that ZilHive grants are available for those developers and businesses that have great ideas to build projects to the Zilliqa blockchain. Big believers in open finance, and the 7th wave of ZilHive applicants is underway and welcome, and trying to build out as many partners in that space as possible. You can see some of the names there. Unstoppable Domains, one of our early ZilHive partners, is actually generating a huge number of transactions with their decentralized domain system on our blockchain. So finally, I wanted to talk about some basic project updates. But the great thing about the Zilliqa community is that it really does drive almost everything we do and reflect almost everything we do and help grow everything that we do. And so they will be aware that we've been working on a lot of these projects for many, many months. And I think that they'll be happy to see that the progress is continuing and accelerating quite dramatically. But I would like to mention publicly that we do have projects upcoming, which are very exciting. Of course, we have the Binance Buy widget integration, which is like all good movies, coming to a theater near you very soon. This will enable people to buy ZIL with as many as 30 different currencies globally. Importantly, and we've had a lot of information about stablecoins during the event so far, we are working on a USD stablecoin. We have an XSGD stablecoin. We're also working on the XIDR for Indonesia stablecoin. And this June we'll sign an MOU which relates to a USD stablecoin. This will probably give us greater global impact in terms of how people accept and interact with the Zilliqa blockchain. Staking is a massive part of our future, and of course we've made several announcements this year about how we're going to run our staking seed nodes, as we call them, to help decentralize the network further and support the network. Our partner KuCoin has committed to producing a staking seed node in mid-June, and they're very confident about that. And we also have another exchange that is committed to do the same. So in a couple of weeks' time, it'll get quite exciting for Zilliqa community members who get a chance to stake their ZIL as we agreed in the original project, with a return of up to 10.42% for their loyalty and supporting the network. Of other things which are interesting for me, we have with our Zilacracy community a project going on which provides for a non-custodial staking seed node. So exchanges stake for you on your behalf. But if you wish to stake purely with control of your own keys, then non-custodial is the way to go. And Zilacracy has partnered with Mainnet to launch in Q3 this year a non-custodial staking node. Other important updates, HT Exchange is something that we have had on plan for several months. It is effectively a private member-only exchange, which enables people to buy shares in private companies through brokers and other third parties. This is in the MAS, or the Monetary Authority of Singapore sandbox at this point. in time, and we've stated that it's due for launch in Q2, and we obviously got an update from HG Exchange themselves, and they're actually we're quite excited about preparing demos for key partners through their QA environment right now, and it is scheduled to go live in the month of June. So we are highly confident that HG Exchange will launch this month. Other projects, of course, we talked about our stablecoin, XSGD, and what's exciting for us is to see how quickly that ecosystem is growing and how partners of ours, such as Zilliqa and Moonlet, are already live with XRES and able to transfer the XSGD stablecoin quite effectively. There's a much bigger public release of XSGD planned for Q3 with XRES, so we're also very excited about how that's going. I mentioned the ZilHive relaunch effectively with a new accelerator partner. That's basically today with the website. You can see at zilhive.org, and you can work out if you have a project which we could help fund and grow. Finally, ZIL3, what we're thinking about is a town hall whereby on July the 30th, we can actually sit down using something like Hopin to invite all the members of our community globally to spend some time with the founders and the team and discuss the status of the Zilliqa blockchain, which I think you'll find is gathering pace, increasing momentum, delivering amazing adoption projects, and definitely worth its place in the top 20 coins of this month. So that's my presentation.
Awesome. Thank you, Colin. Much apprecited. I think we have about 3 minutes for questions. So I will I'll hop right in. So obviously the big update coming up is going to be the staking contract. What kind of led to that development? What was the rationale going towards staking if you already had this kind of hybrid proof of work PBFT consensus mechanism working?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a kind of additional security in a sense, because we wanted to decentralize. Zilliqa started out with quite a significant holding of the nodes, and we wanted to find a way to offer up the opportunity to reward community for supporting nodes themselves. And eventually we would reduce the number of guardian nodes, for example, that we had, and offer up a much more decentralized network. Actually, Junhao could talk to this in much more detail than me. I'm not sure if you can bring him on to the Q&A.
Actually, hold on.
It'd be great to hear his insight, because he's the guy that's literally building it.
We'll see. We have 2 minutes. Perfect timing, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So with regards to the staking, why we are actually doing this staking on Zilliqa is very simple. Because at the start of Zilliqa, we actually allocate 5% of the rewards to a special kind of node, which is called seed nodes. And these seed nodes are like the entry point to the Zilliqa network. And right now we are in a point whereby we think that Zilliqa network has matured enough, and we want to actually open up these nodes to other people to come and run it. Right now, only exchanges has been running it in their own environment, but we want to open it up to the greater community.
Oh no, that makes a lot of sense. So it wasn't really as feasible in the previous network to have everyone kind of run like the proof of work software?
I would say that in the current network, there's two parts of the network. One part of the network does consensus, produce blocks, produce transactions and so on. There's also another kind of nodes that is lesser in numbers, and these are like entry points to the network. So right now we are trying to decentralize this entry point via staking.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. I really appreciate it. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah.
Like that last minute. Really appreciate the presentation, Colin. Last question: where can we, hear more about the project and keep up with the latest developments?
Yeah, well, we're pretty strong on Twitter, so at Zilliqa on Twitter, probably the fastest and best way. Telegram, actually a lot of secrets come out on Telegram, so there's some kind of insight which people would get nowhere else. So at Zilliqa chat is also a great place to go.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. So June, we'll keep an eye out for staking contracting launch
Amazing
on
launch.
Zilliqa.
Yep. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Thank you, both of you.